If you saw this video, then you know that Facebook and Instagram's parent company Meta came out with a new app called Threads that is being called a Twitter killer because it is very similar to Twitter in nature, and Twitter has been struggling up to this point all on its own without Instagram's help. Well, now Threads is live and there's already a lot going on, y'all. We've got what they're calling a privacy nightmare overseas. We've got over 10 million signups in the first 7 hours. Mark Zuckerberg published his first tweet in over 11 years just to take a dig at Elon Musk. It's a lot. So let's go over what we know about the new app now that it's live. It passed 2 million signups in its first 2 hours live in the App Store, and then, like I said, 10 million in the first 7 hours. Threads allows Instagram users to authenticate with their existing credentials in order to post short updates, including text up to 500 characters, links, photos, and videos up to 5 minutes in length. At launch, Threads is available on iOS and Android in 100 countries, though not in the EU, reportedly due to concerns around adhering to local data privacy regulations, which we'll talk more about in a minute. Users can log in with their Instagram credentials or their username and verification status will carry over. However, Threads profiles can be customized independently as well. Threads will soon offer support for ActivityPub, the same social networking protocol used by open source Twitter rival Mastodon, along with other federated apps. Once that takes effect, Threads will be able to broaden its reach as Mastodon's ecosystem engages 1.7 million active users. But we aren't sure when exactly Threads will deliver on this feature, and Instagram head Adam Mosseri said in the post that there will be no ActivityPub support at launch. ActivityPub is a protocol that is used to post on decentralized networks like Mastodon. When you tap on the threads.net button next to someone's profile, Threads shows a pop-up saying soon you'll be able to follow and interact with people on other Fediverse platforms such as Mastodon. They can also find people on Threads using full usernames such as @Mosseri@threads.net. Mosseri said, "We're committed to building support for ActivityPub, the protocol behind Mastodon, into this app. We weren't able to finish it for launch given a number of complications that come along with a decentralized network, but it's coming." If you're wondering why this matters, here's a reason. You may one day end up leaving Threads or hopefully not end up deplatformed. If that ever happens, you should be able to take your audience with you to another server. Being open can enable that. At the moment, you can only view posts and profiles as well as share links to those posts. Clicking on the Threads icon on the top will change the theme from light to dark or vice versa. And again, as noted in my previous video, users will be able to decide who can reply to posts, be it everyone, profiles they follow, or accounts cited in the post called mentions. So now let's talk about the privacy nightmare happening in the EU, or the group of 27 countries in Europe called the European Union. This is going to get a little technical with legal jargon, but just stay with me. Information provided about the app's privacy shows the app may collect highly sensitive information about users in order to profile their digital activity, including health and financial data, precise location, browsing history, contacts, search history, and other sensitive information. Given that Meta, the developer behind the app and the company formerly known as Facebook, makes its money from tracking and profiling web users to sell their attention via its behavioral advertising micro-targeting tools, this is hardly surprising. Agreed, TechCrunch. Agreed. But it does raise questions over whether Threads will be able to launch in the European Union, where the legal basis Meta had claimed for processing Facebook users' personal data was found unlawful at the start of this year. Meta has since switched to a claim of legitimate interest for this data for ads processing, but earlier this week, at the time that I'm filming this, the bloc's top court piled more regional woe on Meta via a judgment on a German case referral where the court said this legal basis is not appropriate for running Meta's behavioral ads either, and consent needs to be sought. Under current EU law, sensitive information such as health data also requires an even higher standard of explicit consent to be legally processed in order to be compliant with the General Data Protection Regulation. So Meta would need to ask and obtain specific permission for processing sensitive data like health. So basically, the EU has stricter privacy laws than the US currently, and the way that Meta goes about tracking people on its apps, like the new Threads app, is actually against the law over there. Additionally, incoming EU regulations ban use of sensitive data for ads entirely and may require explicit consent for tech giants to combine data for ad profiling. So there's even more regional legal uncertainty looming on the horizon for Meta's people farming business. Currently, the ad tech giant does not even offer users a general upfront choice to deny its tracking and profiling, let alone explicitly ask if it can share data on your health conditions so advertisers can try to sell you diet pills or whatever. And with even harder limits on surveillance ads coming down the pipeline in the EU, an app that proposes to track everything to maximize its appeal to advertisers will be a tough sell to regional regulators. Plus, as if all of that wasn't enough, Meta was recently hit with an order to stop sending EU users' data to the US for processing and fined almost $1.3 billion for breaching the GDPR's requirements on data exports. That order is specific to Facebook, but in principle, the same requirement could be applied to other Meta services that don't adequately protect Europeans' data over the pond, such as by using zero-knowledge architecture end-to-end encryption. And clearly, Threads isn't going to offer users that kind of privacy. So if you've kept up with our Facebook videos over the years, then you know that Facebook has been in hot water for a while, to put it lightly. Check out this video if you need a recap. But so it seems like with this Threads app, it's no different. Now, I will say that if all of this sounds very overwhelming to you, or if the thought of marketing on a new app or just social media in general is too much for you right now, you should know that we generate profitable social media results for small businesses every day. So if you'd like a free custom marketing proposal and quote to go with it, fill out our contact form. I've linked it below. But otherwise, comment below and let me know if you plan on joining the Threads app, and I'll see you in the next episode.